got North Americans Titans standing in their way. Are NRG slacking today? Only way to find out is to play.
Well, we promised you that we would be qualifying teams for Birmingham. And by God, at the end of this one, we finally will qualify somebody. Complexity win, they're in. NRG wins, and the Ultimates will have clinched. Game one, brought to you by Progressive, our last match of the day before we go to our final Championship Sunday of the qualifiers. Here we go.
Times are getting close. They're getting tough stacks. These teams are stressing, but one team who doesn't have to stress as much as the rest of the world right now is NRG Esports. And although I will say, don't have to stress as much, like we've all talked about and we watched it ourselves, they have fallen to some of the absolute top teams in NA, and Complexity are on their way to try and cement themselves in that top four.
Complexity off to a great start point. What a setup to get CRR on the board. 22 seconds in. I mean, NRG, they don't have any pressure on other than, okay, maybe you want to try and sweep the regionals. It's never been done in North America. Atomic's been denied several times. Here goes Diaz, looking for another for Complexity, and beast mode there to cut him off. Outraise Bull, stuffed by Atomic. And CRR and Diaz both turn on this ball. It's hard off the crossbar, and CRR is there for the backboard rebound.
A little bit too much space given to a team that will take advantage of it every time. A rare miss from Beast Mode himself, but Complexity, I gotta hand it to you. You had to come out into this series swinging, and that is exactly what they are doing. They're gonna try to get off the kickoff. They catch him one more time. Complexity go to 3.
Floodgates have been opened. Awkward turn out of Atomic. Daniel can't get back in time. Diaz opens up a 3-goal lead now for Complexity, still in the first minute.
There was a big conversation, Stacks, about who amongst the rest was gonna really be able to try and take that last spot. And of course, NRG, Atomic included, they've already found themselves in it. We will see them in Birmingham, but their opposition currently, they are the closest to making that dream a reality right now. And 2-goal lead for now, you would think is very comfortable, but against NRG Esports, it's not as comfy as one might think.
This is a team that scores in bunches routinely. They almost got another one, trying to make the second minute their own as Complexity owned the first. CRR is going to turn back on this one, and Daniel intercepts, try to flip, reset, and scores! Here come the Grim Reapers.
It's starting already. We haven't even been in this game for that long. And even on no boost, Daniel still manages to get his resets, still manages to have the power and strength to get over everyone. And as quickly as Complexity found themselves in a 3-0 lead, it is dwindling as the seconds pass. This one off the sidewall, a shot just off the mark as NRG go to look for that 3rd goal.
I mean, it's one thing to score a bunch of goals, but how well do you defend? It doesn't matter if you score 5 or 6, if you give up 7. And Complexity have not had a comfortable time defending against NRG in the first 2 minutes here. When NRG finally gets on the attack, here goes Atomic. And he left that one for maybe Daniel or Beast Mode to pick up the pieces. Beast Mode forced it through. Atomic to the heavens. And he's just trying to delay and let his teammates get back into the play, which they do. They also take out Raise Bull and take out their corner boost as Diaz gets Daniel in the air early. CRR interfering with Atomic, and Diaz stops the bleeding.
I was questioning what was going on for a second because I was like, CRR, look, you can get the bump, I believe. And still, it just was enough to mess with the energy in the area for Atomic. And Complexity inch by inch, second by second, just try to put themselves back in that lead. They almost do there, although Daniel easily keeps this one on out, and only a 2-goal lead remains. A demo out in front of the net, a double demo could open up a path easily for CRR.
2 demos, and it all leads to a hat trick for CRR. Griswold tried to steal it. Looking for a cheeky goal steal at the end, but the double kill good enough. Complexity right back all over NRG, but still half a game to go in regulation.
Yeah, that's the crazy part, is like, it feels like you've been playing and seeing so much more than what's been going on, but in reality, it is NRG matching what Complexity dished out in the first few moments, and then Complexity being able to respond to those 2 initial goals that NRG had gotten. And since then, defensively, Complexity has kept up, but more so because they've been able to keep NRG boxed in. But once they get pushed in their own half, it's another story, but it doesn't matter if you're in their half. They always look great with what they're putting on target.
Daniel to the back wall, left it for Atomic, and the shot's wide. CRR got a piece of it anyways. And Beast Mode threatened to center that ball. It was popped away from him. Daniel now against CRR, and it's CRR, the better of the 2. Here comes Diaz, here comes Complexity. Raise ball in behind him, may not need him, but the shot's wide. And Atomic's got the clearance away. Daniel taking out Diaz. And can Atomic get the ball central? No, CRR just kills it right there at the back wall, and all the momentum on both sides has been stopped. And of course, oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Who had the fake? Did Atomic actually touch this? Game says he did.
So.
Okay.
It just bounced.
Okay. That's just putting a team on strings and cutting them right at the end. That's the danger of NRG. Now they're trying to get back into it here. Down 2 with 1:15. Get a gift like that though. Off the barely car of Atomic. Drop down. There's Atomic again, denied at the goal line by Razebull.
Great save from Razebull too, because it was such a communicated pass, but Daniel's gonna try and do it himself. This one pinches all the way to the other end of the field. A small breather and a wide shot from Complexity means in this last minute, those 2 goals just became that much more comforting. And NRG, they are struggling, and struggle is a loose word I use here because Complexity have finally upped their defense a little bit. A lot of demos coming out all around the field, which means everybody's getting taken out of position in that particular moment. 30 seconds left on the clock with a 2-goal lead. Complexity, they just gotta hold on.
Yeah, the demos have been insane out of Complexity, but even through it all, NRG still has a sliver of life in game 1, though that's fading quick. Down to 15 seconds, Razebull looking to center for one final blow against NRG. Not quite. Daniel now with 7 seconds left. Got to score here to have any chance, and they will not, as time's going to run out on NRG. It took 5 goals, but Complexity.
They definitely are capable. Complexity is one of the more solid teams when it comes to their rotations. They're very almost cut and dry, right? There's a plan, they execute it, and they execute it very, very well. But once it is disrupted, this is one of those teams that doesn't usually have a plan B in mind. Their adjustments aren't quite as quick as a team like NRG would be able to do, for example. So right now, both teams, this is some new territory. Complexity is going to try and extend their lead, not only in the game, but in the series. And NRG are trailing in some unfamiliar territory in a playoff scenario.
This team does not lose on the weekend. As Daniel stuffs CRR there, only temporarily slows them down. But Razebull had a tough time corralling that ball. Atomic's all over him, and Diaz has to scramble back. Looked like Complexity were quite comfortable, and all of a sudden, they weren't. Here goes Daniel, trying to go over CRR. Marking him the whole way, got it away from him. And now Atomic right at CRR again. Beast mode lurking, his shot clangs off the upright. And it's CRR to send it away.
It's very rare you make a statement to NRG saying, you know, all shots need to be on target. But right now in this situation, respect is being given to Complexity, at least defensively now in this second game here after they take that first initial loss. Daniel leads this one down, no follow-up. Instead, Atomic's just gonna try and play the time as Diaz gets the beat. It's a 1-goal lead in favor of Complexity.
Well, you always want to be playing your best Rocket League when you get towards the end of the split. And Complexity are doing just that. 3 goals now in the series for Diaz, 3 for CRR, as he had the hat trick in game 1. And Complexity are firing on all cylinders.
Beast mode around the corner over to Daniel. Decent amount of boost to work with here, but CRR was already up, and it falls straight back into the hands of Atomic, and you see Beast Mode behind him, and I expect that that's just the lurk waiting for the next challenge, and it is. This midline pretty unlocked from both ends of the field, although Complexity have had a little bit more success getting out of their own side. This 150's all the way up forward. 3 minutes left to go. And in those first 2 minutes, Complexity have done an incredible job of holding on to that 1-goal lead. I say as this one almost goes in. The last moment heroics on the play keep Complexity strong.
Oh, Diaz thought about coming up. CRR called him off a little late. And Complexity unfazed by that at all as Diaz still trying to go towards the back line. RLCS trying to get involved in the offense as well now. Almost got a piece of beast mode on the back wall. Be trouble for Complexity if they are not sure with their comms. Big shot wide and high from NRG. Beast mode will try again, just throw it to the backboard, hope something good happens, and CRR there to make sure there's no rebound. Diaz throw it at the NRG net and force them all back.
And right now, NRG, I mean, it's not even that they haven't had some creative attempts, it's just Complexity are adapting to it. And RLCS already up on this one. They recognize that NRG have used this backboard quite a bit. So being up and preemptively already putting a hand in their face and saying, no, this backboard is not in your favor anymore, is making NRG, you know, put in a position where they got to be a little bit more creative. Maybe go further on the low game. Maybe send somebody upfield and open up that net. You see Daniel trying to do it there in the corner, but there hasn't been any connection onto these Complexity players.
CRR, everything in the tank, everything to look at ahead of him. Now RLCS out of the corner for himself. Got that ball in front. Nobody diving in, so CRR will take it on the weak side. Diaz falling in behind him, but it's Beast Mode who has that trickle right towards his lap. And Atomic left it for Daniel, and the decoy play works to perfection.
There is the creativity I was waiting for. They got forced to do it, and the fakes are coming through. It's beautiful, it's clean, and it is a tied game.
All square with 1:08 to go. Like we said, you're not going to get 3 goals in the first minute every time. So how do you adapt? Complexity have been excellent so far. They have not shown any signs of being intimidated by the big bad wolves of NRG. RLCS watches Daniel go to the sidewall. Atomic running loose in the offensive end as well. Beast Mode waiting for a rebound that came further out than he would have liked. Now Atomic in the final minute. Blocked by Diaz. CRR over towards Diaz, and it was a tough angle, but also just slowly developing. NRG converged on that. RLCS pushes that over the bar. Daniel to follow. Atomic lurking. Nothing there for NRG to take advantage of as we dip down to 20 seconds, separating us from yet another overtime on Saturday.
We're gonna see if we end up there, though, Stacks. 12 seconds on the clock, and Atomic tries to push this forward. Beast Mode to follow. Challenge successful over 1, but Diaz almost denies. It was a Daniel shot on target that gets sent back. Still in the air, though. RLCS trying to follow it. Daniel keeps this one in play. You see the lurks around, but Diaz, he's got another plan. They want it now. Instead, they're gonna have to fight this one out in overtime.
Golden goal to decide game 2. Diaz tracking this ball all the way. Has CRR. No margin for error now for these teams as they go to overtime. Of course, plenty comfortable with their placement so far, but one touch could be so critical, not just in the story of this match, but of each team's season, especially for complexity. Raise Bull with CRR with a full tank behind him. Diaz coming up as well. Had to navigate around Raise Bull as well. And they collide in the air. It's going to be CRR. Can he stay with this? He can. And now Raise Bull just has to watch as Beast Mode has that all the way.
Raise Bull's going again to dead ball. CRR next. Atomic's not going to let him get the touch off the sidewall. Instead, this one goes over. Daniel's second touch, and Diaz was back just lurking and waiting. A minute into this overtime, it is now in NRG's possession. Off the backboard, Atomic tries to keep it in shooting goal range, but Complexity keeps sending it off. Daniel, 2 touches down. Everyone from NRG just lurking like sharks in front of Complexity, but even on low boost, they barely make a breakout, but it just continues to be short-lived.
Did not have any mental lapses here. Raise Bull against Atomic. Couldn't get the follow-up play. Diaz backing up, and he'll take charge, but Atomic is right there, not affording him any time or space. Raise Bull got that ball awkwardly, but he's got it now. Diaz to the skies, got around one, and Atomic there ahead of Raise Bull, who was trying to run onto that pass. Now Daniel for Beast Mode. Diaz cuts in front, and we play on through 2 full minutes of overtime.
So much respect is being given to Complexity right now, because even when they get pushed into their own half, again, like I said, they are not allowing NRG the space to use that backboard, so it's forcing them to get a little bit more creative, and I'm expecting some sort of a mistake soon, but Complexity has yet to make one in this overtime. A Beast Mode shot off the wall, a demo comes through, and still Complexity managed to stay alive. Daniel leaves this for Beast Mode, and another hand up from Raise Bull keeps Complexity in this.
Oh, CRR, let that one get away. Gave it to Daniel, got the double lined up, but it's well high. Beast Mode tried to leave it for Atomic, and CRR's in the way. Diaz set it up for Raise Bull. Solo effort denied by Atomic, and CRR jumps ahead of Daniel's effort.
Right now, Complexity had a couple of opportunities where they could have ended this. Just unfortunately, nobody was quick enough to make the follow. Thankfully for NRG, Atomic was almost there in time, but still, low boost all the way around the field. And Complexity keep them out. They try to go for their breakaway. Instead, CRR opts for the boost steal. And Atomic just sends this one up. A risky miss, but a better bailout from Raise Bull keeps Complexity going upfield.
Yeah, I think he had it all the way, but still takes some trust. CRR, deep downfield. Beast Mode credited with one of the easier saves he's ever going to make. Now Diaz denied Beast Mode the boost, just dancing around in midfield, and NRG managed to get on the offensive end. Atomic can't put it home. CRR is in the way. Diaz takes out Beast Mode. That should slow down NRG enough for Complexity to break out. They do. Beat one. And Atomic, all you need at the back. Diaz up to the sky. He's got CRR waiting for a pass. Never going to get there.
We're still going in this overtime too. Less than a minute until another full game of regulation has been played in this OT. But Beast Mode's going to try and end it. No connect on it. Instead, Daniel's lurking in the back, waiting for this to come his way. He slows things down. Takes his boost, takes his time, pass to Atomic, it's it!
Just a beautiful feather of a pass. Daniel, I mean, Raise Bull's in a tough spot. He's like, okay, I know the pass is there. He's got to try. And the more NRG can kind of dictate the pace of the series, the more, of course, it's going to favor them, as it has throughout the entire split and over the past year and a half.
And hopefully, if you're an NRG fan, it just continues to be that way. Although Complexity are trying to rewrite history a little bit here. It is a tied series now with the NRG response. CRR takes his shot. That was a really good bump right in front of the goal line there. Unfortunately for Complexity, just not enough to break on in.
Who will strike first in game 3, and how much will that matter towards the final outcome? Atomic in the way there, preventing CRR from having an easy clear. And Beast Mode tried to get Ray's ball, and tried to do the next best thing. If you can't get the ball, get the player, and he got neither. As Ray's ball trying to throw off Atomic, and he's seen a few things. So that's not going to be particularly easy to do. Diaz popping that one out. Ray's ball will give a wide turn, and Atomic still got that through to Diaz.
Diaz on pretty much no boost now as floats on down. Daniel's shot gets sent out into the corner. And Complexity just trying to spot each other. Unfortunately, this touch gets away from them and back into the hands of Daniel. And Complexity, not quite the same Complexity we saw in that game number 1. I did feel like they were a little bit more connected, but like you said, Stacks, as time goes on, an NRG like this is gonna 100% get closer and closer to completely deciding how quickly you're playing, how much space you're gonna be given, and 3 minutes, 16 seconds left. Those first 2, NRG have controlled virtually every moment.
Diaz just pinching that ball up towards the ceiling. Now Ray's ball demoed by Atomic, so he can't follow that play up. And will that open anything up for NRG? Just try to throw the ball downfield, hope something good happens, and not much has here. Now Atomic up to the corner, got the boost steal, and that's about it. Complexity have been very careful on the defensive end. They have not taken many gambles. They have not thrown the house at NRG, and for good reason. NRG has punished plenty of teams that have gotten a little derelict in their defensive duties. Ray's ball going after that midfield boost, kind of letting Atomic take possession and try to play the longer game here, and we'll see how that works out as NRG gets to stay on the attack. Daniel beaten out by CRR. Can't clear the center line. Complexity opting to play things maybe a little slower than they might be comfortable with, and NRG just going to keep bringing it right back in at him. 2 minutes left. Daniel to Atomic, and it sailed high.
Unfortunately for Complexity, the pace at which NRG is at 2 makes them extremely awkward. There's been so many moments where Complexity have sent 1 player or 2 players on a challenge, and it's almost like NRG is just slow enough that they're like, dang, I can't even get a touch on you because I don't know how quickly or slowly you're coming at me or this ball, and then it results in a Complexity miss and then an NRG repossession as it happens right here, back to the hands of Daniel. This one, 50's on back. Atomic just looking to slow things down again. Beast mode, 50's back to Daniel. It's just great zoning too across the board for NRG. No matter where Complexity try and send this ball on out, there is an NRG player lurking, ready to take that ball back.
Well, as violent as game 1 was, when Complexity had 7 demos as a team, only 2 demos this entire game by either side. They've been very polite towards each other. Daniel trying to get that ball down for Atomic. He has, and he scores!
Finally, there has been something out. It has been like a little bit of a pressure cooker for NRG there. And even with the boost in the tank and the space to work with, it just came flying so quickly at the faces of Complexity. NRG take their lead with less than a minute to go off the kickoff. They're gonna send this one back. CRR tries to spot Ray's ball. He sends it to the corner, tries to leave it, goes for the center, maybe a double fake if Diaz had been there a little quicker, but instead it is just NRG staying cool, calm, and collected defensively.
This could be awkward for Complexity. It was not a good looking attack for them at all, and now they're scrambling to get back. And Daniel dumping that to the opposite corner. He'll try to slow down Ray's ball. Had to play it very slow. Beast mode to the back wall. Try to add another goal to their tally and maybe put this game out of reach. Ray's ball ahead. Daniel the easy stop, down to 7 seconds. NRG looking to take 2 in a row here after dropping that first game with that furious first minute from Complexity. And they just about have. Can they get it down to the ground? They can. NRG up 2-1 in their back pocket. A win for Complexity clinches outright. A loss, of course, drops them down to the lower bracket, leaves them some extra work to do. Of course, a win here for NRG would put them one step closer to sweeping all 3 North American regionals, a feat never done before in this region. It's the only region that has not had the same team win all 3 opens.
And I think it might have been Bates or someone who had talked about NRG not really having to play for too much, but that three-peat I know means a lot to this team. With the success that they had last year, falling short, you know, at so many LAN events, having just another accolade to their name would mean everything. The demo play comes through, NRG's early lead secured.
Oh, this is amazing. CRR is the only one who can do anything about it. He gets taken out of the play, and Beast Mode gets his, this is going to sound hard to believe, his first goal of the series.
He's a quiet type. You wanna do the Spurs comparison, right? It might have been like, it's just a Duncan moment. He's a calm, selective man, but he gets the wins.
Still has a very silent fury. As Beast Mode misread that one. Atomic can't catch up to a speeder out of Diaz. And we're all tied up in the first minute.
Finally, their little catch-out moment, too. Atomic just a little low on boost there. I think he might have expected Beast Mode to be able to kind of get some sort of disruptive touch, but instead it bounced out perfectly. Wasn't back in time, and Complexity tied things up here in the first minute.
Oh, Diaz may add another, but Beast Mode there falling into his own net to make the save, and now it's Atomic. See what he can do with very little in the tank, but almost found a soft spot in the Complexity defense. Daniel trying to drop that one down. He got it around Diaz, and CRR yields to Raise Bull. Atomic out to Beast Mode, and they could not use any misdirection to throw off Complexity. Daniel stuffed by Diaz, or at least slowed down enough so that CRR can just slowly take this ball and give his teammates time to get some boost and get back in position. 1-1 here, 90 seconds gone by in game 4. Mentally, you'd think a game that Complexity must win just to stay level with NRG and avoid needing to stave off 3 match points.
3 minutes left alone. And this journey is becoming a lot longer for Complexity if they can't find another goal here soon. They take a shot, CRR denied on the goal line by Beast Mode. Beast Mode, low resources, so he opts for the down. Tries to keep it going, but Complexity in slow motion managed to keep NRG out of their net. You can see already Daniel was trying to be a menace out in the back end. Still not enough to open up a path there for NRG, but it's not going to stop him here. 2 resets forward isn't enough to get close. No follow to come through. Instead, it's a clear out from Diaz to let Complexity regain those resources like you talked about. But oh my gosh, the own goal.
Unlucky. I mean, yeah, if Raise Bull doesn't touch it, Diaz can certainly get there. That's rough. You can't afford to give this team a gift like that. Here goes CRR. They'll try to make the most of it. I mean, hey, there are some mistakes you can't afford to make, and Pirates on a Boat made a couple. They turned out all right.
Yeah.
But Complexity have their work cut out for them here. Still 2 minutes left, only a 1-goal game. Daniel just waiting patiently. He does not take the gamble, and will just play solid defense. Raise Bull's second touch, landed on the boost pad as well, but took a wide turn back. Maybe thought somebody else was going to take that ball. He's still forward, though. Back it off the ceiling to try and set up CRR, and it did not work out. Here goes Diaz. You know he can score from anywhere. Set up Raise Bull. Got to get this ball down in front, and he has, but nobody else is there. CRR was way back. Now Diaz will try coming around the boards, and, well, he shook Atomic away, but now it's going to be cleared out, and Atomic, at least off the corner, but CRR should have that, and he does.
And right now, NRG is playing that deep third man, right? Because they know Complexity is just throwing themselves out. It's not enough this time, though. Unfortunately, Atomic gets caught out again. Beast Mode's touch just falls smack into the hands of the wrong person. The man that can score from anywhere on the field. It's Diaz to tie up Complexity.
I think twice now they've gone after, I think it was Atomic in the first game where CRR was the lead blocker, and he jumped at him, and Atomic just held his ground and let him jump over him, gave himself a chance to make the save as Atomic shot blocked away by Diaz that time. Oh my God, did Atomic dunk him? He did!
I need to watch this one back. You look at just like the sheer control.
That is sick!
Burn. Beautiful.
That is unbelievable. Well, NRG's back in front. Who knew? Raise Bull, just slow first touch, and Daniel will pop it away. Into the final minute. Complexity got to move. It's Diaz lining up a double and blocked away by Daniel right at the last. It looked like it was open there for him. And then the NRG defense said, no, thank you. Now it's Raise Bull with Diaz waiting for a pass. Daniel got bumped, so Beast Mode will jump in and take over. No boost, no problem. Get the flip reset. And that just slows down Complexity even more. Raise Bull inside 30 to go. Took out Atomic, and we're tied.
These are the plays that have put Complexity's name in contention for top 4. A clean demo in the air, a tied game with 25 to go. Can Complexity pull it off?
Diaz will leave that for CRR. Daniel at least gave it a sniff. And now Beast Mode just goes well beyond the play, and Diaz will take over. Only as far as Daniel. Can he dunk CRR? Not quite. He did get the corner boost. 8 seconds left. Overtime looming. Beast Mode will take over. Daniel trying to run interference. He didn't have anybody to hit. No time left now. Raise Bull, I'm sure, content to bring it to ground, and NRG say no. We want to end this in regulation. Roll the dice one more time, and that's going to go to the ground.
This is the moment where things start to swing. If NRG take it, that match point is theirs, and it becomes a lot more difficult for Complexity to get back in. This one dangerously falls close in front of Complexity. You can see the challenges coming through. Daniel, 2 touches, still tries to keep this in his team's possession, using everything he can to try and find that angle. Unfortunately for him, just a tiny nick off of the backboard keeps that one out, and it's up to him to go for round 2. 2 touches, no follow. NRG are still kept out.
I am very much in favor of defensive kickoff strategies, but NRG went very aggressive with Beast Mode coming up the left side, and it almost paid off. They still kind of have the residual effects of that early pressure. Complexity have not yet recovered. Daniel's shot high and wide, and Atomic now skying it up. Daniel will have another go, and Raise Bull there to stop him.
CRR taking his time, completely cut off in the mid and sent back. And Complexity have to play the safer game. You got to respect the fact that NRG have broken into your half a million times at this point. And they're just trying to turn it into 2 million. As they push on forward, Raise Bull has control of this ball for now. It's a slow and awkward touch. More boost in the tank for Daniel, although this one gets caught out. Bounces out centers for Diaz to catch. Tries to get the flick over Atomic. Going to be sent off his way, and this one's left for Raise Bull. Can he pull out a trick from his sleeve? Not quite. He just has to try and send it. Instead, it's a 50 back, and everyone from NRG recognizes this is your moment to attack.
Beast Mode around CRR, and Diaz there to make sure that Daniel isn't able to get onto that ball. Now Atomic hard out of the corner. Daniel is there. Slow bouncer. Sent out by Raise Bull. Can't control that, though, so Beast Mode will take charge. Second minute of overtime has come and gone, and we play on. Daniel's going to have a long, wide turn at this ball, and then he eats a demo for his effort, but he got rid of it. Now Beast Mode, met by CRR physically. And Raise Bull can only pop this ball away right at Daniel. NRG is going to keep bringing the heat until Complexity either gets him on a counterattack or taps out. Beast Mode able to stay with that ball. Boy, that was awkward, but he did well to control it. Daniel now Tried to spike it through Diaz. Atomic, center, and RazeBull's got to be careful, and he is.
And that pressure is still coming on. You saw Daniel on the back end take that boost away from Complexity, so even on their attack upfield, it's on low boost. And Beast Mode not gonna make connection, so there is no bump play to be found here as we approach 3 minutes in overtime here. Daniel goes towards this net. A bump from the center means Beast Mode is gonna find his way through. NRG Esports to match point.
Let me just let me spoil it for you. It's the game where they scored those 3 goals in the opening minute. And then even when NRG started to claw their way back, Diaz was there to put the game out of reach. They need to channel some of that, and you're not going to get that much success off kickoffs against this NRG squad. They have a repertoire as vast as any other team in the world. Here we go. It is Atomic and RazeBull first to touch the ball for their respective squads as we kick off Game 5.
This is an extremely important win for Complexity to try and get here. And of course, NRG on the other end trying to create their three-peat scenario, and Atomic's gonna put them one more foot forward towards that goal.
Right, Daniel just trying to be a pest, but it's CRR that ultimately put it right down in Atomic's lap with the double up top. Nobody there to defend along the bottom. Little mistakes. NRG took advantage. And so Complexity start behind the 8 ball very, very early on here in a game they must win. Atomic going to take his time, take the shot, and CRR's got the easy save.
And this one up in the air right now. NRG just, again, it's very much like a lurking play style. They don't force too much if it's not their way. Right now, Atomic demoed off for his efforts. It falls to Diaz. Beast Mode challenge doesn't make any connect on that ball. Pinballs out into the hands of Beast Mode. He's like, whoa, didn't expect this one. It's okay. Complexity, though, have opportunity to get into that orange side. Diaz taking it from the ceiling to himself and loses it again to the hands of NRG, but CRR might give them some hope, but these challenges are coming in as quickly as Complexity is trying to take shots.
Like Beast Mode and Daniel might have run into each other there on the way out of the zone. Here's RazeBull trying to capitalize on anything at all. Diaz shot, blistering as it was, saved by Beast Mode, and then downfield the other way. Atomic couldn't get that in the air and didn't really throw off the Complexity defense much at all either. Daniel's on this one, so too is CRR, and that goes past Beast Mode, who was charging in a little too strong for his own good. So now Daniel. They're giving him all the time and space he could ask for. Diaz finally up to meet him, and that still got through cleanly, but RazeBull has it.
Nice demo there, too, from Atomic, and you got to respect it, too. There's not many ways you can get this Complexity team kind of off your back, but a demo is a surefire way, too. And Daniel just trying to take his time. Complexity's tried to throw these challenges their way, but NRG pretty much almost never loses them. And even when Complexity does win, it just falls straight back into their hands. Beast Mode around the corner. 2:44 on the clock and a 1-goal lead. It's more than enough. We've seen it in the past, but maybe 2 here can make things a little better. RazeBull on no boost keeps them out.
I haven't done the math on this, but I'm pretty sure Daniel has 12 demos in this series, and that's more than Complexity has as a team. Mind you, they had 7 in Game 1 as a team. He has been an absolute menace, and it's Atomic making the save on CRR, where he had no business being able to get to that ball. RazeBull will try his luck. Daniel there to stop him. And now CRR just trying to keep the play alive. Diaz are starting to come up. Now he will. He's found an opening. Can he capitalize? RazeBull is there, and Beast Mode swats it away.
Atomic is one of those players that, again, you don't really get to say their name too much, because when you have Beast Mode and Daniel on your team, you're like, all right, all eyes almost always automatically turn to them. But Atomic is turning heads today, not only offensively, but defensively. He has kept some of the more surefire moments of Complexity out of the opportunity. And here he comes again. Low boost manages to slow things down in the mid. Unfortunately, Beast Mode doesn't get the beat on RazeBull here, but still, the pressure is on.
Well, if RazeBull doesn't get that touch, desperately scrambling back, it's an open net. Not quite sure his teammate would have respawned in time to get there. But NRG does have the lead, and they hold all the cards. Daniel, pop it up to the backboard. Nobody has any boost except CRR for Complexity. And Atomic will have that one away. Diaz, CRR, take it out. It is RazeBull on the backboard. Diaz had just gotten back in. And Atomic, it almost looks like they're just kind of playing with their food, but they're only up 1 goal. That one's going to be high. No follow-up there from Complexity. Down to 45 seconds left. Daniel trying to be a threat. Nothing there. And Beast Mode, again, just all day to play this ball. And Complexity are not able to get comfortable at all on the offensive end.
No, they're just so boxed at this point that even when they do break out,
Bang.
they are very aware they are on limited time, but not on limited time is NRG. 3 shots back to back to back, although they couldn't find their way in. 16 seconds on the clock and a 1-goal lead is very daunting for Complexity to try and compete with right now. 10 seconds to go. CRR is gonna pop this one up. Beast Mode's gonna deny it. Waste time with a reset. Try to carry it down, and the beat out from Daniel could kill this ball. It will. NRG have done it again.
NRG have indeed done it again. They get blown out in the first minute of this series, even made that a game, and then 4 straight 1-goal victories. 2 of them 1-0 games. NRG is just being NRG. They are the kings of North America, and nobody has anything to say about it. Lost in all of that, the Ultimates can celebrate. They are the second North American team.